Okay, once you got the markers separated in two pieces, what you have to do is you use the little LED markers that I sent you. You should see an R, a yellow, R for red, yellow, Y. You'll notice that the yellow ones, they have the rectifiers on them, so they're quite easy to spot. If you notice here, there's like a little black disc at the end of the plug right here, and that tells you that those are the yellow LEDs because they flash, so they have to have a rectifier. The rear markers, which are the red ones, they don't have the rectifier, so they are very sensitive to not sensitive, but they have a positive and negative. So when you plug them into your car, you got to turn your markers on, your park lights on, and then you plug them in, and if they light up, then you're okay. If not, then you just have to reverse the plug because it's positive and negative. So the first thing you do, once you got all the parts all separated, you take the markers, you stick the plug in, and you take the short end. This is the, you'll see there's a long end and there's a short end right here. So all you do is you remove the short end, the tape from it, like so. Just peel it back, and the first thing I do is I count the number of LEDs. You should have 4. The 5th one is the center. It goes into the center of the hole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is this one. So I place it right in the center of the hole, and then all I do now is I press down. I make sure that everything's all aligned, all straight here. Everything's straight, and I just press everything in like that, making sure that the 5th LED is in the center of the hole. So you can just play with it a little bit. Try not to unstick it, because once it's off, then it won't be as solid as before. So once you got that, you see that the 5th LED is in the center of the hole, so then you're correct. And you see now it's glued on with the backing of the LED. So all you do now is remove the tape again from the long portion of the LED. You peel it right off. You gotta have long nails for it to do that, I guess. Once it's peeled off, I just grab the end here like that, stick it onto my finger, and then I make sure it's straight across. Don't pull too much because it's going to put a tension on it. So just press it in, and that's it. Now, as you can see, the 5th LED is centered. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, it's going to show up once you light them up. So once that's done, this is the important part. What I do is I went to an automotive store, and what I bought is goop. Goop is really great stuff. It's automotive transparent glue. You got it in black or in transparent. That's what I use to glue these things back together. So what I do before I glue them back together, I put goop. Let me something a little more pointy here. What I do is I use goop. I put a dab here just to hold this end, and I put a dab here to hold this end right here. So that's going to make sure that even if it gets warm outside, whatever, it's not going to the strip is not going to move around. Well, it's really not going to move around, but it's 3 amps just to make sure. And what I do also is, if you see there's the black wire and the red wire, what I do is I goop them too. So I put goop here and a dab here just to glue the wires onto this strip here, and it's just going to stop from this part where the solder is on the other side. It's just going to prevent it from vibrating and then getting loose and whatnot. And as you can tell also, once you got the goop there, it's going to solidify, so when you press the thing in, see, it doesn't move around right here. So they're glued in so that you can press it back in when you insert into the plug and twist. So it's going to be okay. So once that's done, what I do is I let them rest overnight just for the glue to settle. And because if you don't wait for the goop to dry, what's going to happen is that when you turn them upside down, the goop's going to drip onto the LEDs here, not the LEDs, but onto the markers. and that's going to create a black spot on your marker. So make sure that this is all dried up before gluing them. So what I do is I put goop all around the yellow here, all around. I make like a gasket just to cover everything up, and then I just press them together. Also, when you take a look, when I separate my markers, I put a dab of nail polish on the end that's closest to the marker, so I know which way this marker goes in. Okay, because if you could put them either side, but each marker is glued in a special way in a special place. So just remember the distance here and what end goes on to the short side. So that's what I do to remember. I just put a little bit of nail polish right here. As you can see, it's probably won't see it on the video, but it's right here. And then all you have to do then, get your car, turn the park lights on, stick it in. If it lights up, well, the yellow ones are going to light up because they're not positive negative sensitive, but the red ones are, so you have to be very careful on the positive negative side. So you should be all right. If there's any problems, well, just PM me on the Pinosphere forum, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. It's very simple. So once again, automotive goop. Any good automotive store, they have it. I think it's about $5 a tube, so you should be fine. And once you got that all done, let them sit overnight, let them dry, and then you can stick them onto your car the next day and take a look. They look really sharp. So if there's anything, just PM me and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So take care, have fun, enjoy the LEDs. Bye.